Well, might as well do this one last what if, and do this so people will have a chance of survival, hopefully me as well. Hello everybody, this is Dunkle Dylan here, God of Chaos, and if you've seen the little sting that happened, and yes, I heard about the incident that's going around nowadays, don't think I haven't heard, believe me, many of you guys actually warned me about this, so yeah. So today, this might be my final what if for a long time. Maybe, I'm not saying it is. But today we are doing the one shot of what if Deku was in a blackout apocalypse. For those who do not know, I've read that this is not something that just came on recently. This has been going on for like a while now. Like a lot of people have been telling me about this. So I figured I might as well warn you all to give you a chance. So you're welcome. Normally I wouldn't do this, but for the safety of others, might as well. That and also, let's just say I have somewhat respect for my subscribers, but this is only to subscribers only, not one else. So you start sharing, I'm start snitching. And because this might be the last week on Earth, right? Last week of America. Heck, I might actually move out of the country. Hey, although I'm joking on the meantime. But luckily, the government won't get pissy at this. So, well, I only have to say this. Good night. Good luck. Okay. Anyway, before Midoriya was about to head to school, he listened to this. By the way, this is by the government. It'll actually say who showed this, so have fun.
Vladimir Putin threatening a possible nuclear escalation may not be the only thing to watch.
But tonight, the nation's intelligence agencies are warning of cyber threats from Russia.
About one of the most significant national threats that we face. Because hackers recognize that the energy sector is our country's Achilles heel.
For years, Russia has launched destructive cyber attacks in Ukraine, and experts say the U.S. would not be immune to similar attacks right here.
It wouldn't take much to throw the entire country into darkness.
There's very few number of substations you need to take out in the entire United States to knock out the entire grid.
The report was linked to the Wall Street Journal. It found the U.S. could suffer a coast-to-coast blackout if saboteurs knocked out just 9 substations.
Triggered a blackout for nearly 50 million people. Just think about what a cyber attack would do. It could be catastrophic.
Roads could be left without light, heat, refrigeration, water, phones, and internet.
The United States must prepare for cyber war against Russia.
I don't think there should be any doubt in anybody's mind that the cyber challenges we're talking about are not theoretical. This is something real.
Hi, I'm Paul Grabowski, and this may be the last time you hear my voice. According to top military officials and U.S. senators, the Russians are planning an attack on our fragile power grid. Now, in case you're unfamiliar, here's how our power grid works. This is a substation. There are 55,000 of them scattered across the United States, each one powering the most critical parts of our society: hospitals, airports, police stations, transportation, and water and food supply. And each one intricately connects to the next, like a giant row of dominoes. However, if just 9 of these substations get knocked out, all the dominoes fall, and the entire power grid comes crashing down. And I'm not talking about an hour-long blackout that causes you to miss a few hours of Netflix. I'm talking about hospitals going dark during life-saving surgeries, no phone signal during emergencies, no internet to get updates on this disaster, no refrigeration to keep your food fresh and your medication from going bad, no heat to keep you and your family warm, no air conditioning, nothing. America enters a blackout that, according to top military experts and government officials, could last for months or even years. Make no mistake, this attack would send the greatest country on earth back to the Dark Ages. But as serious as this threat is, I think the experts predicting it are dead wrong. I don't think the Russians are planning an attack on our power grid. I think the attack has already begun, and I have undeniable proof the trap is set. America is on its knees. The gun is cocked and loaded and pointed at our head. Putin's finger is on the trigger, and just one gentle squeeze will send our country spiraling into never-ending darkness. Don't believe me? A report covered in last month's issue of Bloomberg revealed a bone-chilling truth. U.S. utilities have recently found Russian malware, a malicious computer virus, inside not one, but 10 of our critical substations, including one that powers a nuclear plant deep in the heartland of America. Now, this isn't your traditional malware that slows your computer down. It's a resilient venom that can instantly and permanently throw our country into a black abyss. And to my knowledge, our bureaucratic government, who, by the way, seems more concerned about protecting pronouns than protecting our country, has no clue how to remove this malware, let alone prevent it from spreading like a vicious virus. After all, we know how good our administration is at combating actual viruses. Let me say it again. We already know 10 of our critical substations are infected right now. How many more have been compromised that we don't know about? Do you really think that our current administration has inspected all 55,000 substations? Well, if there's one thing I've learned in life, it's that if it doesn't win elections, it doesn't get done. So how long do we have until Putin pulls the trigger? Well, according to top NASA scientist Dr. Richard Garwin, this attack could happen as early as next week. But I disagree. I think it could happen much sooner than that, especially in light of Putin's sudden and shocking maneuvers in Eastern Europe that have not only forced leading nations to the brink of World War III, but have diplomacy experts questioning Putin's mental health and wondering if he will make good on his deadly promise. However, if this video is still playing, there's still hope, if you act quickly. In the next 60 seconds, I'm going to show you the one tiny tweak I've made to my circuit breaker to safeguard my home and my family from Putin's deadly threat. And thanks to this one tiny tweak, I've been able to move my electricity completely off-grid. My home no longer depends on the same power source the Russians have already infiltrated. And no, I'm not talking about solar panels or backup generators. I'm talking about something easier than setting up a tent. You don't need any electrical experience, and it takes no time at all, which is very good news because time is running out. So stick around, because in just a minute, I'm going to show you exactly how to set this up using nothing but 3 dead batteries and a half a cup of distilled vinegar. So please, watch until the very end. It could be your last chance to do it before the lights go out. Let's begin. As I've said before, my name is Paul Grabowski. I'm a master plumber, born and raised in Artesia, New Mexico. Life here has been pretty steady for the most part. What I'm about to reveal next is very important. However, I'll make it brief because, frankly, it's hard for me to talk about. As you may already know, New Mexico experienced one of the worst snowstorms in history this year. As a result, our home lost power and my wife and 2 young kids had 0 heat for 13 hours. It was the worst night of our lives. Because not only were we freezing and afraid, but we also lost our 8-month-old puppy, Bella. That day I made an oath to myself. I would never allow my family to be put into that situation again. This time we lost our puppy, but who's to say the next time it couldn't be one of our kids? I made it my personal mission to find a way to power our home, and to give us as much electricity and heat as we needed, without having to depend on the bastard energy companies. Because if I truly wanted to protect my family and guarantee our safety and survival in case of an emergency, God forbid, I couldn't depend on anyone, not our government, not FEMA, and certainly not the greedy electric companies. Because if there's one thing I learned, when shit hits the fan and affects a lot of people at once, you're on your own. That day I immediately hopped on my computer and started hunting for solutions. But as I researched power alternatives, I stumbled onto something disturbing. A report that claimed how the recent blackouts in Texas and New Mexico were just the tip of the iceberg, and how there is a much bigger threat lurking beneath the surface, one that could sink our entire power grid literally overnight. Now, normally, I don't pay attention to this sort of stuff. I'm not a conspiracy nut by any means. But when I learned this report was written by national security experts, I knew I should take it seriously. These experts also claimed that our power grid, the backbone of our country, was built on an aging skeleton and was about to snap. As I dug deeper into these claims, I soon discovered that a power grid failure wouldn't even have to last long to cripple an entire country. Take Venezuela, for instance. A little over a year ago, they experienced a nationwide blackout for only 5 days, and it was sheer panic for months. Hospitals couldn't function, doctors couldn't use medical equipment to save lives, elevators went out, making it impossible to give patients the care they needed, and patients who suffered from minor ailments that could easily be treated otherwise died. And things still aren't back to normal in Venezuela. And as it turns out, these power grid failures have been happening more and more, even in the United States. In fact, between 2000 and 2004, there were 149 power outages across the country. But between 2005 and 2009, that number more than doubled. A total of 349 power grid failures were reported in an independent study from the University of Minnesota. And the worst part is, I had to dig this information out on my own, simply because the mainstream media isn't reporting it. Probably because our current administration either doesn't care or they don't want to incite nationwide panic. So, as usual, they've been sweeping these increasing blackouts under the rug. Then I found a recently declassified document from Homeland Security which strongly implied these recent blackouts were just the tip of the iceberg. See, due to the recent surge in terrorism, the risk of cyber attacks completely crippling America's power grid is at an all-time high. And it doesn't matter if these attacks come from Russia, China, the Taliban, or a small terrorist cell. If Homeland Security was right, then America has never been this vulnerable. As I kept plowing through the research, I stumbled on a leaked report from the FERC. That's the federal agency that regulates all of our electricity. It seems that terrorists have already begun probing for weaknesses in our outdated power grid. And the FERC seems to believe a colossal terrorist attack capable of completely wiping out our power grid and sending us into a black apocalypse could happen at any moment. In fact, they're referring to this event as Blackout Day. See, according to this report, there are over 55,000 substations in the U.S. that our power grid depends on. And if just 9 of them get knocked out, we could see a nationwide blackout lasting 18 months or more. This isn't some conspiracy theory either. It's leaked intelligence from the U.S. government. In fact, a growing number of U.S. senators have come out of the woodwork with their own concerns about this impending threat. They even held a conference recently where the top U.S. national security officials and other high-ranking politicians discussed the severity of this threat. United States Ambassador James Woolsey said, "A threat to our power grid from a terrorist organization is more serious than a nuclear threat." And Joseph McClellan, the director of the government organization that manages our power grid security, the OEIS, said, "When terrorists finally do topple our power grid, the damage could be so catastrophic it could quickly undermine the U.S. government, its military, and the economy, as well as endangering the health and safety of millions of Americans." And when McClellan was asked to give his professional opinion on how long he thought we could be without power once an attack finally does happen, he said, "For a period of years." Well, naturally, this sent chills up and down the spines of the U.S. officials at this conference. The next question on everyone's mind was, how soon could a terrorist attack on our power grid actually happen? And that's when NASA scientist Dr. Richard Garwin stood up and said, it might occur next week. Can you believe that? As early as next week, every state, every city, every home in the United States could lose all of its electricity for years. And there is nothing our government can do about it. And what would happen if America actually lost all of its power? Well, according to Bridget Borge, the president of the NRECA, a power grid failure would have a severe impact on our hospitals, our transportation, and our fuel lines. And without these things, America would be crippled. Imagine living without electricity for the next 1.5 years or more. No lights, no phones, no internet, no refrigeration, no heat, and no water. All because every single one of these necessities depends on our brittle power grid. I couldn't help but think, what they're describing sounds like it could be 1,000,000 times worse than September 11th. I mean, this last year has already been crazy. How much crazier could things get? Would America turn into a real-life Mad Max movie if our power grid went down? Would people split up into small but ruthless gangs, wearing their own homemade costumes, carrying machetes and anything else they could turn into a weapon as they hunted for remnant power sources? Would the world as we know it revert to the Dark Ages? And I mean, the last Dark Age, which lasted 900 years, happened at the fall of the Roman Empire. And many experts believe that America, the last empire, is overdue for a fall. Could Blackout Day be the catalyst that ignites this collapse? And if America's power grid shatters, would energy become more valuable than water, guns, or gold? Would it become the new currency? I don't have the answer to these questions. However, I am certain of one thing. If these experts, many of whom are high-ranking government officials, were even 1% right, then not only would I need an alternative power source, but I'd need a bulletproof plan to protect my family as America gets thrust into the land of wolves. So I dropped everything and quickly began to scour the internet at a feverish pace looking for an alternative power. And within a few hours, I only found two potential solutions. The first of which being backup generators. Now, although backup generators might sound like a good idea, they have one major flaw. They need fuel. And I think it's safe to assume that once the power goes out, people are going to panic, and they're going to buy up as much propane, diesel, or any other fuel you need to run a backup generator. What's more, if blackout day lasts even a tiny fraction of the time government officials believe it's going to last, no amount of fuel will help. And I certainly don't want to store fuel in my home, where I could expose my family to carbon monoxide poisoning. And to add insult to injury, backup generators cost a fortune, about $15,000 a pop, so I scrapped that idea. The other option was solar panels. Now, not only are solar panels more expensive than backup generators, they're notorious for breaking down. So if I were to install solar panels in my home, I need to hire a maintenance guy at some point. And when blackout day arrives, do you really think the solar panel company is going to send a maintenance guy to my house? Hell no. They're going to be panicking like the rest of us. So I scrapped that idea too. I slumped in my chair and realized this was hopeless. Not only did I fail to find an alternative power solution to keep my family safe, but I was now terrified of our country reverting to the dark ages as a result of the upcoming blackout day. And according to those government reports, it wasn't a question of if, but when. I felt so overwhelmed that I just about gave up. And that's when I received an emergency call about a standard old basement leak that changed everything, because it led me to discover an incredibly powerful technology that would give me and my family safe, sustainable, and renewable energy for when we needed it most. I got a call one evening about a pipe leak from my brother-in-law, Adam. Adam is an electrical engineer just outside of Roswell. I don't know exactly where he works because he's pretty hush-hush about it, but I do know that even his wife isn't allowed on the property. When I arrived at Adam's home, I followed him downstairs to the basement. Knee-deep in water, I began fixing the leak as quickly as I could, but it wasn't quick enough. All the lights snapped off and we plunged into darkness. I knew the water had just killed the circuit breaker, but within seconds, the lights flickered and kicked back on even brighter, which made zero sense, because the circuit breaker was now completely submerged underwater, and there was no sound of a backup generator either. So I asked Adam, "Hey, how the hell are the lights still on?" Adam's eyes scattered around the room as he pretended not to hear the question, so I said, "Come on, man, we're family." I could see my words chipping away at his resistance. Adam hesitated but kept silent. Then, like a sledgehammer, I delivered one final blow. "Adam, if we never lost power, Bella would still be with us. And you know how much she loved you." Adam sighed, then shuffled over to one of the metal compartments on the wall, opened it, and pulled out a smooth metallic orb no bigger than a tennis ball. The orb radiated a vibrant blue pulsating light, which illuminated the weird cluster of symbols written on the walls, a solar system of hieroglyphics and complex mathematical formulas that made absolutely no sense to me. I couldn't tell if it was ancient Egyptian or some other far distant language. Who the hell was my brother-in-law, and where did this mysterious orb come from? I continued to drill Adam with questions until I finally got some answers. He explained how this soundless orb was called an infinity coil. It was based on Nikola Tesla's invention, the Tesla coil, and a new electromagnetic invention which works based on vortex mathematics. When Adam saw the dumb look on my face, he explained, just like how a magnet pulls metal towards it, the infinity coil uses the Earth's magnetic fields to literally pull energy out of thin air. This is the same technology used to power military aircrafts, NASA space engines, Lockheed Martin, and a lot of the impossible-to-believe propulsion projects at JPL in Caltech. Adam said it was thanks to this device he was able to keep power in the house, despite drowning his circuit breaker. He also mentioned how this technology wouldn't be available to the public for at least 10 years. But no matter how hard I begged and pleaded, Adam couldn't sell me the exact infinity coil he had because he didn't want to get in trouble at work. Adam, I don't know exactly who you work for, and frankly, I don't want to know, but I'm guessing you're one of the few people who knows how vulnerable our power grid is, and you know what's coming. Adam took a deep breath, and I knew I had him. The next day, I logged into my computer and opened Adam's email, which had the subject line, "Don't share this with anyone," in all caps. It included detailed instructions on how to make my very own infinity coil. I quickly made a list of the supplies I'd need. However, I was skeptical. The supplies in Adam's email were so inexpensive that you could literally make this off-grid energy device for less than $120. And I was certain I could find most of the items lying around my garage or in a junkyard. But Adam said it's not about the parts themselves, but how the parts are configured that makes the infinity coil work so well. When I returned home from the hardware store, I immediately got to work, and after several grueling hours, taking only a few short breaks to get some food, I made my very own infinity coil-inspired off-grid energy device. It was time to test it. So I grabbed a table lamp. I plugged it in, turned the infinity coil on, and nothing. A complete dud. After a few more failed attempts, I called Adam to let him know his device was worthless. And the first thing that came out of his mouth was, "Did you connect the circuit protector to the infinity coil?" Boy, did I feel dumb. I thanked Adam and made the changes that very night. Then I tested the infinity coil again, and just like that, my wife's phone charger turned on. So did a few other items. My own infinity coil-inspired device was powering them all, and it was so quiet too. Yeah, I was now ready to put the infinity coil to the ultimate test. So I simulated blackout day by cutting power to the house, and lo and behold, the infinity coil was powering our entire home. It was incredible. The oven, the fridge, the washer and dryer, the AC unit, and even heat. And boy, was it hot. We had to turn the thermostat down a few degrees compared to normal. And best of all, my home was now running on reusable, self-sustaining, infinite energy that was totally free. I was finally relieved because I was now certain that thanks to this device, I could keep my family safe no matter what. A blackout, a natural disaster, a total collapse of the power grid, and even the chaos as America descends into darkness. But I didn't care, because I knew my family was safe. However, while at church one day, something strange happened. As the pastor read a line from 2 Corinthians, "Each one must give as he has decided in his heart, for God loves a cheerful giver," the power snapped off, and a switch went on inside me. I didn't even consider the repercussions of what I was about to do. I just ran down the street to my home and grabbed the infinity coil, and within minutes, the church lit up like a Christmas tree. However, as I made my way back to my seat, I got all kinds of stares. Nobody could understand how a device so small, so compact, could light up a room that size so brightly. It's at that point I felt a hand tap on my shoulder. It was my pastor. He looked at me, smiled, and said, "Son, that device is a gift from God. Thank you for sharing it." I could feel the weight of his words. And as I looked around the room, seeing all the innocent faces staring back at me, men, women, and children who had no idea of the impending power grid failure that could happen at any moment, I couldn't help but think, maybe everything that happened to me over the last few months happened for a reason. Maybe it was all a sign from God, a way to get my attention so I could help others prepare for the coming blackout day. Well, it sounds kind of crazy, but I felt a tremendous sense of responsibility to help not only my own family, but everyone, including strangers. And this is why I did what I did next. So I showed the congregation how to build their own infinity coils, a decision that caused a rift between me and my brother-in-law, Adam. And Adam, if you're watching this right now, I truly am sorry. But this decision was for the greater good. And I know in my heart that when Blackout Day hits and countless lives are saved, you and Trina will forgive me. Now, it wasn't long until folks in my neighborhood, including their friends and families, had free-flowing, off-grid energy as much or as little as they needed. And none of them were depending on the frail power grid. And over the next few weeks, people treated me different. They'd smile at me on the street. They'd stop and shake my hand and thank me. I even had an older gentleman drop his cane in the middle of the sidewalk just so he could give me a hug. In fact, my family is still receiving thank you gifts from strangers on a regular basis. Here's a photo of my porch. And it's kind of funny, I even noticed I was getting attention from the women in the neighborhood, which my wife wasn't too happy about. But that was nothing compared to the attention I was getting from people all over the country, asking me to help them build their own infinity coil. Before I knew it, I was spending almost every waking moment on the phone or answering emails from folks who were eager to protect themselves and their family from Blackout Day. And as much as I enjoy helping others, I'm only one man, and frankly, I was stretched thin. So I decided to think big. How could I get the infinity coil blueprint into as many hands as possible, as quickly as possible, without killing myself? It suddenly became clear to me what I needed to do. So I spent the next several weeks poring over all the questions people had about building their own infinity coil. And to make sure the blueprint was as simple and straightforward as possible, I recruited my 9-year-old son to test it. And within 45 minutes, Sam was charging his PlayStation with his own infinity coil. That's when I knew I had created a simple, easy-to-use system that not only shows you how to quickly and effortlessly build your own infinity coil to power virtually every part of your home, but also use it to not just survive, but thrive after Blackout Day. And that's when Dark Age Defense was born. Dark Age Defense is the only foolproof survival blueprint specifically designed to ensure you and your family are more than prepared for Blackout Day. Dark Age Defense not only takes you by the hand and shows you step by step how to build your own infinity coil and have it up and running in minutes, but it also reveals the critical steps you and your family must take in order to fully prepare for the aftermath. Imagine having peace of mind and knowing with full certainty that no matter how long our power grid is down, your loved ones will be safe. And imagine not having to rely on the power grid to keep all your appliances and electronics running for as long as you want. With Dark Age Defense by your side, you won't have to worry about facing any of the repercussions that come with a total collapse of the power grid. While other folks are scrambling to keep their neck above water, you and your family will live comfortably in your own self-powered, self-sustainable private oasis. And because the consequences of Blackout Day will go far beyond a shattered power grid, Dark Age Defense goes far beyond making your own infinity coil. Inside this proven revolutionary step-by-step system, you'll also discover the fully legal felony that makes the infinity coil 261% more efficient than any known power source on the planet, and how to use this technology to power a dead vehicle. Chapter 8. The first thing you must do when the power grid goes down. Do this immediately within the first 30 minutes to ensure your kids make it to their next birthday. Chapter 1. Do you really want to leave your family's safety up to chance when the lights go out? That's why in Chapter 6, I'm going to show you how to generate an invisible force field around your home with this technology. The instructions are surprisingly simple. Does size really matter? Discover the shocking truth and how it can help guide you to build the perfect size infinity coil for you and your family. Chapter 8. The number one most important thing to consider when powering your home. Do this wrong and the whole system falls apart. Do this right and you'll never have to worry about a blackout again. Chapter 5. Infinity coiled squared equals town hero? Want to discover the simple method for making 7 infinity coils at once in no extra time or cost? Then you'll want to turn to Chapter 7. Warning, please do not sell your extra infinity coils for a profit. Just lend them your copy of Dark Age Defense. Want to power your car, boat, or even a small building? Then you'll love the Cosmo Generator. This infinity coil cheat code literally pulls electricity from air. It sounds like science fiction, but it's real. In fact, its makers filed a patent for it in 1921, before they mysteriously died. Chapter 5. Protect your infinity coil from thieves using nothing but a pencil. This simple pencil trick will not only make your power source virtually theft-proof, but will give potential thieves the shock of their lives. Chapter 7. Fisher-Price Toy Hack. How to use a $5 Fisher-Price toy to build an infinity coil. Perfect if you're on an ultra-tight budget and need unlimited power ASAP. Just don't tell your kids. Chapter 7. The Infinity Coil's Biblical Origins. How the infinity coil proves, without a shadow of a doubt, that God does exist, and much, much more. In fact, because Blackout Day will disrupt every part of our lives, food, water, and of course electricity, Dark Age Defense is much more than a step-by-step system that takes you by the hand and practically builds an infinity coil for you. It's also your complete compass that guarantees you and your family have everything you need to navigate the dark times ahead. Dark Age Defense is only available on this website, and only for as long as I'm allowed to share it, which may not be for long. Remember, our power grid is so fragile it could collapse at any moment, and there won't be a formal warning. And when Blackout Day suddenly strikes, your ability to get your hands on Dark Age Defense and protect your family will be lost forever. At which point, the only option you and your family will have is to depend on the government for help. And we've all seen how that's worked out in the past. Dark Age Defense has already helped thousands of Americans, giving them not only peace of mind, but also a way to slash their energy bills so they can live life on their terms. It's even turned small farms in rural America into beacons of light that will not just survive, but thrive during the dark times ahead. Imagine being one of the only lighthouses in a sea of darkness. Imagine never having to worry about your little ones going cold or hungry because you've taken the action necessary to protect them. Imagine living in peace and comfort while the rest of the world anguishes in turmoil, and having more than enough power for you and your family, enough to help others in need around you. Just think how your family will feel when they know you've done everything you can to keep them safe and sound, no matter what happens once the lights go out. And best of all, even if the blackout lasts over a year, like many of our U.S. senators are predicting, Dark Age Defense will give you the confidence and courage you'll need when we enter a modern-day dark age that, according to NASA scientist Dr. Richard Garwin, could happen as early as next week. When you get your hands on Dark Age Defense today, you won't have to invest $1,500, which is what the average American spends on electricity each year. And you won't have to spend countless hours figuring out how to put together a reliable, self-sufficient power source. And like I said before, this isn't about the money for me. See, I don't think money is going to have much value soon. And that's because once blackout day hits, the US dollar will likely crash. And it's entirely possible that energy will replace it as the new currency. That's why the only reason I'm even charging people for this blueprint is to keep this website up and running. And perhaps, more importantly, to help get the word out to as many people as possible. Now with that said, I don't want something as trivial as price to get in the way of the safety you and your family deserve. When I first released Dark Age Defense, I asked people what they would pay for this one-of-a-kind system, and many of them were offering $250. However, as reasonable as $250 is for most folks, and as much as that would help me get the word out even more, and even though Dark Age Defense could easily help you save over $1,500 on your energy bill this year alone, I know that $250 might still be out of reach for some people. So then I thought, why not cut the price in half and just ask for $125? I know most people can afford that, especially when you consider this system could save your family from power outages. So $125 is more than fair. But then I asked myself, is there anyone, even a single person, who couldn't afford $125 because it was too much money? And that's when I knew I had to go even further. So today, all I ask is that you make a one-time investment of just $67 as a way to help cover my website costs, so critically I can continue to get the word out as quickly as possible. For only 18 cents a day, the complete Dark Age Defense system is yours. Just a few pennies to guarantee your family will live safely and comfortably once the lights go out. And the only thing I ask in return for practically giving you Dark Age Defense is that you share it with as many people as possible. You see, since you and I both know what's likely going to happen, it's our moral responsibility to not only get the word out, but to also share the only solution with as many people as possible. Now, to get started, just click the button you see right now. From there, you'll be taken to a safe and secure order form where you can enter in your details and within 2 minutes from now, have instant access to Dark Age Defense and be on your way to true energy independence and much, much more. So please, secure your personal copy of Dark Age Defense while you still can, and join the ranks of countless other Americans who took action and took control of their destiny. Click the button you see right now. See, even though most people who get their hands on Dark Age Defense have called it brilliant, so easy to use, a lifesaver, and even though some folks have called it a proven way to slash your energy bills, there's only so much Dark Age Defense can do. I'm not going to sit here and promise that with this proven blueprint, you and your family will remain unscathed as our power grid collapses. Bottom line, Dark Age Defense can't prevent blackout day from arriving. No one can, not even the US government. For that reason, when you secure your copy of Dark Age Defense today, I'm going to give you some powerful tools that will help you during the uncertain and unprecedented times ahead. Blackout Day Shield number 1. Produce Oasis, a $59 value, yours free. See, once our power goes out, certain foods that are essential for survival are going to vanish. Produce Oasis will show you how to grow your own produce, even if you live in a tiny apartment and don't have a backyard. You don't need acres of farmland to enjoy months of hearty, nutrient-dense food. Inside Produce Oasis, you'll discover the sock fertilizer method, an easy way to supercharge your produce growth naturally in a fraction of the time. All you need is 2 cups of soil, ice, and a used sock. How to grow the 3 vampire super nutrients, 7 times more potent than your multivitamin. They need 0 light, yet they are so nutritious. You could eat them and them alone to maintain a healthy, strong body. Best of all, it will cost you less than $1. The #1 junk food for childhood development. Even though this strange nutrient tastes like candy, it's chock full of copper, which is essential for bone development, heart health, and immune function, all critical when hospitals are closed. My top 3 any climate foods. Although these foods may taste bland, they grow like weeds in any climate. Plus, they stay fresh for weeks without refrigeration. Page 3. And much, much more. Now look, once blackout day hits, you will have power, but the water companies won't, which means by the time your water gets to you, it could be contaminated. That's why I've included Blackout Day Shield number 2, Water on Demand, a $59 value, yours free. Water on Demand includes everything you need to know about making, filtering, transporting, and storing clean drinking water. Inside, you'll discover the 3 dangerous water mistakes people make when they lose power. Hint, this is exactly what happened in Flint, Michigan. The 16-second submarine test, an incredibly accurate, equipment-free way to find out when your water is safe to use after the power goes out. Mineral Supercharge, how to supercharge your water's mineral content so it's cleaner, better tasting, fresher, and delivers more health benefits than any so-called premium water you could buy at the store, so your family can fight off any potential infections. Remember, blackout day equals hospitals without power. DIY water force field filter. Unlike regular sediment filters, this 25-cent filter, which you can make at home using nothing but a toilet paper roll, removes all of the water toxins that make their way into your water supply once the power goes down, and much, much more. Blackout Day Shield number 3, Bulletproof Bug Out, a $59 value, yours free. No one knows what's going to happen when the lights go out. Again, we're venturing into unprecedented and unpredictable times. So to help guarantee you and your loved ones are fully prepared, I'm also going to give you Bulletproof Bug Out. Here's what you'll discover inside. How to make your own 72-hour Special Forces survival kit. This military-inspired elite kit will help you thrive for 72 hours or longer in full-on riots, war-torn areas, or even purge-like scenarios. The 5 kindergarten questions you must ask before putting together your bug-out bag. Kindergartners ask these childish questions every day, yet, oddly enough, they're crucial if you want to put together the most optimal survival kit. Geronimo Geo-Tracking, ancient Native American technology that was used to track prey and navigate through treacherous terrain. And because it uses zero power, this technology will be even more valuable to you after Blackout Day. Blackout Day Shield number 4, Off-Grid Escape, a $59 value, yours free. Look, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. No one knows when Blackout Day will arrive, and maybe you're at a point in life where you can relocate your entire family. In Off-Grid Escape, I'm going to show you 7 safe havens that are immune to Blackout Day. They are freedom-friendly, have state-of-the-art power grids, and will allow you to live like a king. Best of all, I'll show you how to get to these hidden utopias without power. Hint, Pablo Escobar used this method to smuggle 200 metric tons of cocaine to the U.S. undetected, and much, much more. So, to recap, these 4 life-saving gifts, a $239 value, are yours free when you invest in Dark Age Defense today. Now, if that sounds fair to you, then click the button you see right now to get started, while you still can. Now, because you've watched this long, I know you're part of the new 1% who are going to be prepared as America's power grid collapses. And with this knowledge comes responsibility and the opportunity to join the only blackout survival community on the planet. Blackout Survival Specialists, better known as BOSS. BOSS is a tight-knit 24/7 online community made up of true patriots who'll do anything in their power to keep their loved ones safe once America plunges into darkness. You'll get the latest updates on Blackout Day as government information about this impending threat either leaks or becomes declassified. You'll also get your questions answered by top experts who've been living the off-grid lifestyle for decades. You'll even get access to me, and I'll do my best to answer your questions regarding the Infinity Coil, Blackout Day, or anything else regarding being prepared about this monumental capsizing event. Remember, this is the only invitation you will ever get to join the BOSS. So click the button you see right now to get instant access to Dark Age Defense, the 4 life-saving gifts, and your exclusive 24/7 access to BOSS. And because I know you've yet to experience the life-changing power of Dark Age Defense and have yet to see your electric bill practically vanish, I want to make this investment today a no-brainer. That's why I'm protecting you with my unlimited power 60-day 100% money-back guarantee. Here's how it works. Unfortunately, the likelihood of Blackout Day occurring in the next 60 days or sooner is higher than you think, especially if these top government officials and NASA scientists are correct. So here's my promise to you. If Blackout Day doesn't arrive in the next 60 days, and I really hope it doesn't, just call me anytime you like, and I will give you a full, no questions asked refund. And yes, when you invest in Dark Age Defense today, you'll get my personal phone number too. And if you decide this system isn't for you for any reason whatsoever, even if you never open the blueprint, I'll pay you back every penny and you can keep everything. Dark Age Defense, Produce Oasis, Water on Demand, Bulletproof Bug Out, and Off-Grid Escape, all yours to keep, a $465 value if you change your mind for any reason at all. Because I know in my heart that one day you're going to need all of this. And I don't want money to get in the way of your family's safety. So click the button you see right now to lock in your spot and safeguard this material before it's too late. Now, there's something else you need to know. Based on the evidence from U.S. senators and national security officials, once our power grid goes down, it's going to be a monumental event that will have a huge ripple effect that will impact every aspect of your life. And it will have far greater consequences than anything America has ever experienced. Sadly, the truth is, millions of lives are at stake. Innocent men, women, and children who would have otherwise had long, prosperous lives are not going to make it once we plunge into darkness. And I would hate for you or anyone you know to become a statistic. That's why I'm urging you to take advantage of the only blueprint on the planet specifically designed to protect you and your loved ones as the clock winds down to the inevitable blackout day. The Dark Age defense system is easy to consume. In fact, you could probably finish it in a single sitting. And it's the only way to ensure you and your loved ones have unlimited, free-flowing, off-grid power, as much or as little as you need. And don't forget, you're protected by my 100% risk-free 60-day money-back guarantee. So there is absolutely no risk on your part. And even if Blackout Day doesn't arrive next week, next month, next year, or ever, if Homeland Security, U.S. Ambassador James Woolsey, OEIS Director Joseph McClellan, NASA scientist Dr. Richard Garwin, or any of the other high-ranking officials I've mentioned in this presentation, including me, are wrong about Blackout Day, at the very least, Dark Age Defense and the life-saving gifts you get with it will help slash your power bills, save you money, and enjoy the freedom that comes with living an off-grid lifestyle. But remember, if we're right, the moment Blackout Day arrives, this website, along with every other website on the internet, is going to vanish instantly. So don't hesitate another second. Click the button you see right now to get started right away. Again, my name is Paul Grabowski, and I hope this message reaches you in time.
Well, there you go, guys. And Paul Grabowski, the reason I decided to actually give this to you is because, not because I care about humanity, it's because it actually makes sense in a way. So you're welcome. Oh, besides, even I had to admit that this shit actually might happen. So for those who don't know, get ready, because this shit's is gonna hit the fan, and far worse than you think. Trust me. Hey, I know humans all too well. They are this fucking stupid. Anyway, so let's get to the what if, shall we? So pretty much Midoriya just started watching that. Also, shout out to the corporation they mentioned, by the way. Hey, you're welcome. So pretty much Midoriya saw this, but before he could even do anything, it was too late. Blackout Day has come. Mind you, Midoriya is 5 years old in this one. So Midoriya literally went through a tremendous amount of problems. So Midoriya along with his mother, now have to suffer through this. However, people changed. Immediately, Inko tried to leave her son for dead for a box of rice. At least. So Midoriya felt betrayal before he can even see it. That's when Midoriya died. And someone began. 9 years has passed. Midoriya is now 19. He was 10 when he had this happen to him, and he could never forgive his mom for that. As for where she is, no one knows. Not even the family. So pretty much Midoriya's moving on the world. He hasn't stayed at a single place for years to come. As a matter of fact, he doesn't know the last time he actually stayed in a location for a period amount of time. But once Midoriya actually gets back to the next location, and he literally comes across a place that he hasn't seen in a while. Well, his old school. He doesn't try to go in there because school will be the last place you actually look for food and supplies. Nice. So Midoriya starts moving along. And let's just say in this one, this place has been sank, but people have already moved out of the country, the ones with power. Or there's a place with power and there's a place without power. So pretty much Midoriya is in the place without power. And where gangs and all that and crazy men are running around like madmen. So you can imagine that. Once Midoriya actually gets to the vendor, he pretty much ascend about the dark days. Ooh, that's good. Good coffee. So pretty much Midoriya sat on a chair, which is pretty much it's full of dead bodies. Once Midoriya actually gets done, this is when Midoriya comes across it's the next worst thing. People. This is when he sees a couple of men surrounding him. And obviously you can tell by the look these are Bakugo's men. Now Bakugo's been trying to recruit Midoriya for years, but he always said no, which was pathetic for Bakugo's eyes. Let me guess, Bakugo sent you? You do know he's not going to stop. I'll be looking for you until you join. You can tell him my answer remains no. You and I both know this shit happened. I'm not interested. I never will be. What do you really have to lose? Nothing, really. So if you're here to kill me, go right ahead. I'm not going anywhere. You sure? Yeah, I'm sure. Alright. This is when the guy points a gun at his head, but Midoriya doesn't budge. But before he can do anything, this is when two crossbow bolts hit someone in the head and hits them in the head. And this is when a person tries to turn, one of the men turns around and literally shoots the guy. Why did you save me, El Chaco? Well, because then you owe me. Unless I didn't want to be saved. Now, if you excuse me. Hold it, Midoriya. I saved you. The least you could do is tell me where I can find some food. Food. What food? Don't play dumb. You think I haven't noticed? Everyone's been wondering how you've been getting fresh food. Who said it's fresh? Well, for starters, you're drinking fresh water. Dude, I got this water right out of a toilet. But there is no fresh. I just cleaned it. That's it. Anyway, if you're here for something as small as that, you know where to leave. Because I'm not going anywhere. You're unbelievable. Well, really? I mean, sure, I get... You know how many lives we could save? Oh, not at this shit again. And grow up. You're unbelievable. I can't believe this. You would easily give up on this country. Yep. You know where the door is. You're unbelievable. I can't believe this. You would literally sacrifice life. Because you don't feel like saving people. It's not that. And you know it. Oh, really? Then what is it? I gave up. You need to as well. You know I won't do that. Then why are you talking to me still? Because I was hoping I could get your attention. But apparently I saw the last Midoriya that I knew. The Midoriya you knew, who was a kid. There was no Midoriya. The old Midoriya would have saved people. Yeah, the old Midoriya. This new Midoriya doesn't give two fucks. It's the end of the world. Get over it. This is when Midoriya picks up his sniper rifle. Shouldn't you be with your parents with all that technological crap? I mean, why else would you be here? You know who I'm with, and you know what we do. Yeah. You're raiders. We are nothing like them. I heard that before, and look where that led us. It led us to people in the crapper. So don't tell me that you guys aren't doing what you do. It doesn't take a genius to know that you guys are killers. And don't pull that, oh, we're doing it for our country crap. America has been dead for years. You really have gave up, haven't you? Ever since I was a kid. So unless you got on some big shot thing I don't know about, good day. Hey, you're unbelievable. And to think, I saw you as a friend. That was your first mistake. And you know it. Alright then. Goodbye, Midoriya. See you later, Ochako. Oh, and hopefully we never see each other again. Right. That's when she walks off. This one, Midoriya goes their separate ways. Once Midoriya gets to the landscape of this gets to the other side, this one Midoriya comes across other bandits. This one Midoriya gets into his grabs his rifle and starts sniping. Which ends as great as you expect. Pretty much with the blood. This is when Midoriya starts shooting. Mind you, Midoriya's armor he wears like a vest, but it's a sturdy vest. He also wears a type of chainmail around his armor just in case. These guys are reasons. This is when Midoriya gets closer to the country. Once Midoriya gets the safe point, which I'm going to say is some random location, and Midoriya Snapchatted it to this one Midoriya literally starts walking after sniping the enemies. Once Midoriya starts done sniping, he checks their corpse. The only thing he finds is pretty much melee weapons and some food. Which the food is made out of a dog, so once Midoriya got done on eating the food because it was delicious and you can't be picky what you eat. Midoriya pretty much got done eating. This is when pretty much he switched around the place. Once Midoriya got done with that, once Midoriya gets done with eating, then he treks around the place. But when Midoriya gets to the new location, he comes across, as you expect from anyone. An old this one pretty much he goes to an old location, which I'm going to say is dormed. The place is pretty old, and it doesn't take an expert to know that. So, once Midoriya gets to the old place, which he realizes is an old apartment, which is pretty big. So Midoriya enters there with a sawed-off double-barrel shotgun ready to shoot, literally to a Mad Max thing. He doesn't. He sees nothing. Just nothing. So after that, Midoriya, getting closer. This one, Midoriya checks the bathroom. He checks the window. He checks everything. He makes sure that nothing is going to surprise him. Which, nothing happens. Anyway, with Midoriya, with Ochako, who gets back to the sanctuary, which has the power grid. This one she hears, hey Ochako, huh? Oh, hey Jiro, back from scouting? Yep. Did you find Midoriya? I found the new Midoriya. Don't be surprised, Ochako. This was 9 years. You can't expect everyone to be the same childhood friend that you knew. Besides, where's the rest of your crew? Dead. I'm the last one. Oh shit, dude. Sorry. It's fine. What was I expecting? He changed. We can't stop people from changing. I just wish he didn't change so soon to this climate. Hey, look. We're gonna have to get used to that. People change very easily. We can't stop something we have no control over. I suppose you're right. Anyway. Mostly, anyway, this is when Midoriya would do this. Let's see what you got. And this way, Ochako says, so, has anyone come from your search? We found a couple of stuff that will keep some damaged power grid if here. So I suppose that thing is passed. So Midoriya really haven't changed. So Midoriya has changed, huh? I didn't even recognize him. Like I said. Like you said, don't expect people to be who you want them to be. How do you do it? Do what? The change when people you no longer know turn into monsters. He's on the Badlands. It's his way of survival. With Midoriya, who took down a group of cannibals with the machete because he didn't know they were in there. Alright, I'm calling it. This world can officially bite my ass. And I do not mean that literally. This is when Midoriya checks his ammo and realizes he only has one shotgun shell left. Great. I'm gonna have to be careful. What's next? Am I gonna get shot? That or something? Because if that's where this is going, this world can officially bite my ass. Once Midoriya actually gets done on collecting the stuff materials he needs, Mostly stuff like food, supplies, and alcohol. In case you're wondering what he's using for alcohol, Molotovs. Obviously, Molotovs. So pretty much, Midoriya has stamped out all the things he could use. So this is when Midoriya just starts running, and he starts laying down. After barricading himself, also people don't enter without him noticing. But we don't start with him. We now get to Bakugo, who notices that his men hasn't returned. In case you're wondering what Bakugo looks like a member of the disciples from Fallout 4, except he's wearing the spike armor. This is when one of the soldiers come up. Did you find him? We found the bodies, these of the fallen. I'm taking a guess it was Midoriya? No, it was from a crossbow. Well, Chaco. What about Midoriya? Did you find him? No. He covered his tracks. He doubled back. Damn it. Sir, I know I have no right to ask, but what's so important about this man? We're losing ground, and he's the best sniper in this region. And we're losing territory by the bloody butterflies. So we need all the help we can get, no matter if people don't like the idea of helping us. No offense, sir, but what makes you think Midoriya will help? Midoriya can be bribed. As for if he'll permanently stay, I don't know. That we're going to have to find out. So until then, keep looking for him. Sir, we just lost to control point A. Damn it. That was our main food supply. We need to find that sniper. Now. Yes, sir. This is when another patrol starts running out. You have any idea why we're looking? So, do you know much about Midoriya? Besides the fact that he was abandoned as a kid, that's it. What? Yeah, his mother abandoned him just for a box of rice. Sheesh. So, that kid must have a lot of trauma. Trauma, yeah, but no one knows what goes through that kid's head. He's heartless, cruel, doesn't even know mercy. Shot 2 kids because they stole from him. Jeez. Well, it's true what they say. It's a dog-eat-dog world out there. It's a dog-eat-dog world everywhere, dude. And we can't stop it, no matter how much we want to. I hate it when you're right. So do I, dude. So do I. Anyway, once Midoriya actually gets done with that, and this is when Midoriya starts doing other things. But we don't. This is when we get to actually the men, and they start looking around, out for Midoriya. Man, this guy really knows how to cover his tracks. If he was a veteran. You found tracks? No. Oh, found corpses. Look. Is that blood? Yep. And I know what beside. Cannibals. I thought we got rid of all those. Not all of them. Some of them like to hide in the apartments. Oh, yeah. I keep forgetting those things. It's more like the men keep forgetting and they just get high. And they just don't remember that cannibals live here as well. Alright, let's go check it out. Alright. Once they actually get to the location, they look and see a lot of cannibals dead. Whoever did this knew what they were doing. They really know how to make someone dead, huh? More like they know what someone was doing. Huh. This place is barricaded. Anyone in there? Yep. And they set a trap. We shouldn't go that way. Man, that thing is literally leading to frickin' dynamite. Alright. When the men get closer, this one they see it. Bone chives. Bone what? Bone chive. Nice. You mean like wind charms? Yeah. Literally. These things will literally notify any cannibals. They use it to find out where is where. That's kind of creepy, but smart. It's used as the best way to lure out unexpected travelers. That's one way of doing it. Yeah, you don't know the half of it. These were out recently, so either A, Midoriya's a cannibal, which I doubt, or B, he killed them just to have these bone chives around. With Midoriya, which he can hear the men, this when Midoriya sneaks out the window while he drops down. Hey, whoa, there you go. Yes, this one Midoriya starts running. This one of the men tries to aim at him, but this one of the guys stop him. Dude, Bakugo will kill it, as we heard. He says stop him, but he didn't say anything while hurting him. And this one pretty much the guy shoots Midoriya in the leg. Ah, damn it. This is when Midoriya starts walking. This is when pretty much the men get closer to him. Hey there, Midoriya. Go fuck yourselves. Oh, aren't we a feisty one? Bakugo wants to talk to you. This Midoriya just spits on the guy's face, which pisses the guy off and he immediately knocks him out. Dude! With the guys. Dude, we're supposed to bring him back alive. We did. Hey, Kirishima just lost his temper. Nah! He spat on me! Let's just get him to the boss. This is when they start dragging him. Jesus, he's heavier than he looks. Well, of course he's heavy. We're dealing... Looks like his armor is pretty well known. I didn't even know he wore chainmail. Well, looks like he does. Let's get him on the car. Once they put him on the car, this is when pretty much they start driving. This is when pretty much Midoriya wakes up. A pop in his neck. His face, by the way, he has a bald head. He pretty much looks like that one Walter White from Breaking Bad, except his beard is green. He just looks at this. In case you're wondering, his beard is full throttle. Yeah, full throttle, like a full beard. Here, mostly like a goatee. Anyway, after that, this is when Midoriya starts going forward. Once Midoriya gets closer to the region, he wakes up and he finds, Bakugo just looking at him. Out of all the bastards I had to see, you are the last I wanted to see, Katsuki. Good to see you too, Midoriya. What do you want? We need your help. What's in it for me? You get help, food, supplies, all the women you could think. You really think I'm gonna give two shits about that? Fair point. Look, we're having a problem. The the bloody butterflies have been attacking us for weeks. They're taking out all our defenses. And all our men. We can't go one day without this problem. So that's where you can come in if you'll accept. Oh, let me guess, I don't really have a choice, because either way, I'm going to end up pretty much locked up in here until I do accept, correct? But Bako stands silent. Of course, once a bully, always a bully. You always were a prick. You always were a useless prick. This is when Bakugo just punches him in the face. The only thing, this is when pretty much Midoriya just spits out a tooth. Is all you got? You're getting soft. This is when the men says, what the fuck? Fuck. Look, I've never seen anyone hit like that. Alright, look, why don't we try this? Look, I get it. You don't want on us, and you don't want on anything. But we need your help, like I said. How did you even let the killer butterflies even take over your territories? They're more skilled than us and more armed. They're literally female Amazonians, mostly. And you've been letting them get over you. Hey, we don't have the firepower like they do. Besides, they just rolled up here literally a month ago. Oh, you really haven't noticed them? I was too busy making sure I didn't capture, or pretty much survival, more important, than something like baby owl. Well, look, we just want your help. In return, you could leave and you never have to return again. Ever. What's the catch? You have to obey my orders, and you can't run away, and you'll be working with a team. Aim to secure bases for me. Figured. Where's my shotgun? And my tools? They're in the lobby. This is when Midoriya starts walking toward... Where's the place? This is when Midoriya gets untied. Right? And immediately Midoriya sucker punches him right in the face. That's for being weak. Oh, right in the nose. Now, where's my guns? Oh, right there. This is when the men are just thinking, balls on this guy. Hey, who is this? Balls on this one. Who is these people? Who is these guys? I don't know. Bakugo thinks we need our help. So we can't judge. No? Oh, you sure about that? Because Blackout took one hell of a hit. The boss will be fine. He got hit by worse. Besides, I could tell a hold back punch when I see it. That was a hold back punch. Once they get to the location, once they get there, men, guys, this is your new partner. This is when one of the men says, "You gotta be kidding me! This guy?" Kirishima, mind your tone. We need all the help we can get. With Midoriya, who was pretty much just doing his usual crap. I mean, with Midoriya, who grabs his gun. Surprised you didn't try to scrap it. But I know when to make my enemies, and I know how to make allies. If I scrap that gun, you'd kill me. And your wife and kids. Well, lucky for me, I didn't have any. Yet. That's when Bakugo was thinking, what's wrong with you, Midoriya? Have you really changed so much? Are you even human? What's my first target? Your first target is the abandoned and an asylum. One of your locations in an insane asylum. Well, don't make it sound like it's a bad thing. It's formidable, it's hard, it's sturdy, and it's where we keep our prisoners. Slavers is the best way of saying it. There's no passing you, is there? You think I'm that stupid that you think I haven't know what your career is? Don't be an fucking idiot. You're gonna judge me? I thought I already was. Are we gonna get there or not? Alright, let's get to it then. Here, I marked the location. I'll mark the location on your map. Or you can follow Kirishima and Dinky there, your choice. I'm stuck with them either way. Hey, so let's get on it. You heard him, guys. Take them to the insane asylum. Got it. I'll send some men there to aid you. Don't. More men's gonna mean more trouble. And I know they're not gonna obey me like a bunch of idiots. Alright. Once this is when Midoriya gets on a bike. Wait, this one of the men say, you can ride a bike? Don't know, you can handle Bakugo's dick? Like, sorry for the one simple question. Dick? Like, whatever. Let's get this over with. That's when they start driving their bikes and they get to the location, which is there. So that's the location we gotta deal with. Yeah, that's it. That's the location where you must fight. Looks like a sloppy place to me. Hey, this place has been power for years. Then how the hell do they have one? What? This is when they say power. How? I got an answer for that. You do? Yep. It's a simple answer that even a god knows. They must have stolen from those power generating weirdos. You mean the ones with the little jet things? Yep. Power enough to light up an entire building, yeah. Must have stole it from one. That's the only thing I could think of, anyway. This one, Midoriya and them literally gets to the location. Once they actually get there, they pretty much start walking out to the godforsaken place. So how many men were guarding this place? About 3, about 17. In an insane asylum. Hey, it was the boss's orders. Whatever. So how do we enter? Do we sneak in, or how did they take out your men? Pretty much, they just snuck in. They went to the They knew there was no power, so they stuck to the shadows. Which means if we sneak in there, they'll notice our footsteps. So the answer to that is an obvious no. Especially since you two are wearing armor like a bunch of fucking idiots. Okay, Mr. Big and High and Mighty, why don't you tell us where you... Simple. This one, Midoriya, he just walks in. This one, Amazonia say, you're trespassing, you need... This one, the Killer Butterfly say, hey, you're trespassing, you need to... And Midoriya shoots the guy right in the head. And it just walks in. Are you sure this guy does not want to die? No offense, but if he didn't want to die, we wouldn't be here. Yeah, fair point. This is when Midoriya and them actually get closer to the location. Once Midoriya actually gets pinned by a couple of, well, the enemy. This is when Midoriya just said, "What took you two so long? Oh, shut it! We weren't expecting you to charge in." Yeah. This is when one of the men tries to shoot Midoriya, but Midoriya has a Molotov, throws it, and literally sets the guy on fire. This is when another guy tries to shoot Midoriya from behind, but Midoriya grabs a shotgun on Slug and literally just shoots the guy directly right in the head. But the next thing you know, Midoriya just hears a click from his gun. God damn it. Well, it looks like someone's out of bullets here. This is when Kirishima gives him a revolver, and not even hesitating, Midoriya shoots the one guy that was about to get to Kirishima. You're welcome. This is when the other guy starts shooting, and Midoriya grabs an enemy gun, which he starts shooting the others. Which there pretty much is a spread thing. Once Midoriya got done shooting them, Midoriya looks around, seeing nothing but bolts. They're using crossbows and arrows. They just recently started using guns. How do you know? Oh, they started using guns. Because, as otherwise their shots wouldn't be so crappy. And you're saying these guys have been around for a month? Yeah. Well, obviously they're from the north. I'm taking a guess, they probably came from Canada. What makes you think that? Yeah, this is when he shows the Canadian logo on their shirt. Oh. I can now see that. You should. Let's go. Otherwise, we're going to be dealing with bull crap. Anyway, after the fight, after when Midoriya gets there, Midoriya comes across the last butterfly, which is a kid. It's just a kid. Should we? And not even hesitating, Midoriya shoots the guy. Dude, it was just a kid. So, our orders were to get rid of all trespassers. There you go. You didn't have to kill a kid. Though. Since when did you become a sheep? I beg your pardon? And Kirishima don't. No. Oh, look here, jackass. Unlike some people, some people actually have a soul. Oh. Just because the world is shit doesn't mean you have to make everyone's out. This life shit. Look, we get it. The world you change, but it doesn't mean you have to change with it. It says the guy who now has a temper. Right, even though he used to be calm as a mouse. You changed as well, oh Kirishima. What would All Might say to this? He'd probably say that this isn't very hero-like. But he's dead. And so, I don't have to worry. let's just go. Once they leave the location, they actually go... Oh. Once, and this is when Midoriya and them get... in and start looking around. But this is when pretty much they send a smoke signal to tell them that the place is theirs. Let me guess, Native American smoke signals? Yep. Yep, best way to contact. We got the idea when that company tried to help us. You mean that old Native American? You mean that place where they say that at the end of the technology is coming? Well, looks like they weren't wrong. I wish they weren't. I mean, for once, I wish they were. Whatever. This is when they get back. Any problems? From them? Yeah. What happened? Izuku Midoriya shot a kid. What? Yeah. Izuku Midoriya shot a kid. In cold blood. Didn't even hesitate to pull the trigger. That's not the Izuku we know. No, this one Dinky says, no offense, Bakugo, but it has been 9 years. We're raiders. Since when do we care about kids? No offense. I don't. I'm just surprised as you. How old was the kid? Probably 8 or 9 years old. Kid didn't even see the bullet coming. I didn't even know Inko's betrayal would hit him that hard. I think it's more of the fact he realized that Hero... I think it's more of an primal instincts. So you're saying he did it out of pure primal? Well, rage? Just instincts, not rage. Alright. Well, thanks for the info. Now, all of you, get some sleep. We got another location going tomorrow. And I'll be going with Midoriya this time, so you all can stay. Fine by me. Same. The next day happens. Once Midoriya and them actually get close, this is when Midoriya, he doesn't sleep, he's just polishing a shotgun and getting more ammo. Once Midoriya and them literally start all that, Midoriya gets closer and closer to the place. Huh. But before Midoriya, and as soon as Midoriya gets done polishing his gun, this one he hears his cell open, and he points his gun right at Bakugo. Relax, it's just me. Kirishima behind them told you? Yeah, you shooting a kid. You an element. I'm surprised. Nice at you. If you start pulling that bullshit and saying that the old Midoriya would never have done that, I know. But I am surprised. Well, don't be. It's a kill or be killed world. I suppose you're right. Anyway, pause break. Alright, I'm back. Ah, shit. Anyway, after that, Midoriya literally starts running up. Now, after literally a couple of weeks, this one pretty much, as we get to Kirishima and Dinky. So, what do you think of Midoriya being in our crew? I hate it. You hate the Midoriya, or do you hate the new him? The new him. Bak dude. But Midoriya died when he was a kid. You and I both know that. suppose it makes sense. We're just gonna have to accept that this Midoriya is the new him. Anyway, with back in Midoriya and him, what's my next target? Okay. Our next target is gonna be the old Walmart district. Really? Walmart? It's our training camp. We also have all the secrets of the location we found fresh water. If the butterflies get to it, then you're fucked. Yeah, pretty much. Alright then, let's go. The question is, are we going this stealthily, or we're gonna go in stealth? That place is heavily guarded. If they somehow manage to get cannons on the dang place, we go full front on assault, it's gonna be problems. Besides, it's gonna end up with bloodbath. I suppose. Let's go. Alright. Once Midoriya and them actually get to the location, then this is when they look. So you have an idea? Yeah, how to take them down? Yeah, improvise. Improvise? Improvise on? Oh, for crying out loud. I can see how... Okay, now I can see how they got annoyed. This is when Midoriya and them literally get to the locate. Once Midoriya gets closer to the place, this is when pretty much that's the only thing you hear from them is ready to kill. Anyway, this is when Midoriya starts grabbing his knife. I didn't know you didn't know. This one pretty much Baku's surprised. And realized that Midoriya has changed. Not even hesitating, Midoriya slits a pregnant girl's throat open. Which really shocks Bakugo. But he shouldn't even be surprised. He's literally the opposite of a good guy, but I don't think he's just surprised. I think he's just surprised at the fact that Midoriya killed a pregnant woman. One of the men said in surprise. Midoriya throws his knife and hits the guy directly in the head. This is when Midoriya grabs a hatchet from the pregnant woman's body and really charges at one of the men, who tries to shoot him with a crossbow, but Midoriya slams his axe directly to the head. You just gonna stand there, or are we gonna capture this place? Huh? Right. Damn, Midoriya. You turned into a monster. I thought I was the bad guy. Shit. Anyway, this is when Midoriya literally gets there. This is when Bakugo grabs a knife. And this is when he starts shagging people too. Once Midoriya got to take care of the rest, this is when literally Midoriya comes across the leader. So you're the one who took back the insane asylum, huh? But not even hesitating, Midoriya threw the axe, and this is when the guy catches it. That's one way to say hello. You really don't hesitate to throw. Oh, a pity. You're on the enemy side. Not even hesitating, Midoriya shoots the guy in the head, and the body flumps to the ground. We could have gotten... This one, Bakugo says, you think we could have gotten intel from him? He wouldn't have talked. How do you know? Oh, look at his chest. This one he's surprised to see a bomb strapped up to the guy. He wouldn't have talked. That thing would have blown up anyway. Come on, let's get rid of the body. So how do you signal your men that we catch the place? Ace? This one pretty much when they start sending the smoke signals. And immediately this is when some men and from Bakugo's Legion starts coming up. How many more places do we have to capture? Just 3 more. And you're on your way. I thought you controlled the entire hard town. This part of the town. The Crimson and Rubies control the other side. They're a trading group, so we leave them alone. In return, they give us protection money. The other side are the Gunners, high-trained military group. Same as this lot, except more experience. Mostly, they're trained veterans. They pretty much trade guns with us. They trade guns and supplies with us. In return, we stay out of their side of the turf. Keeping the peace is what I do. You really have gotten soft, Bakugo. Oh, and you became more heartless than me. I'm starting to think you would love to run this place. Run a place full of sheeps. I think I'll pass. You really are looking down at me. And normally you'd be pissed if I did. The old me, yeah. But having responsibility can change you. To a skunk, to a man, or to a monster. You decide to stick to be a start to stick to be a man. Just get ready for the next raid. Whatever. Once Midoriya gets back to the base, this one Kirishima, I think he looks at Bakugo. Yeah, you're right, he is changed. How bad? Slit a pregnant woman's head open. Slit a pregnant woman's throat open. This one Kirishima starts clenching his fist. Missed. Kirishima, chill. Why do we even need him? He said he was a sniper. I didn't know he knew more than I thought. If I knew he had more skill, I would have recruited him years ago. I didn't. If I knew about this, I would have done this years ago. I didn't know Midoriya was a cold-hearted killer, okay? Hey, so don't start blaming shit on me. Whatever you say, boss. Once Midoriya and Bakugo got to the once Midoriya got to the location, then he starts seeing more people. This is when pretty much with Midoriya, he starts cleaning his weapon. But this is when he hears something in the shadows. Which Bakugo notices. Midoriya takes a left from the place and he starts walking around outside the base. This one he's surrounded by 2 butterfly men. Midoriya looks around to see a good 2 men, and this one he sees 4 archers. And he sees a limo driving up. This one Midoriya brings out a machete. The other 2 bring out katanas, which is idiotic for me. This one they start swinging their blades, and Midoriya starts blocking them. This one Midoriya starts fighting hand to hand, and a machete with arms. One of the men tries to slice through the katana, but Midoriya sliced the guy's arm and armpit, and then jabs him right in the neck, jabs him right in the stomach. The other men start swinging their blade around, which cuts Midoriya's cheek. But Midoriya pretty much dodges and stabs the guy right in the groin. 2 archers tries to attempt to shoot Midoriya. Midoriya uses the guy as a meat shield and starts blocking. This one he grabs his rifle and literally shoots them both directly in the head, which dislocates his shoulder, considering it was a nasty shot. Sheesh. This is when Midoriya literally starts moving away. Sheesh. Once this one pretty much Midoriya goes to the guys. And goes to the person. And literally shatters the window. And points a gun directly at him. If you kill me, you'll start a great war with your boss. I'll take my chances. The rumors are true. You really have changed. This one pretty much he pops out. Mitsuki Bakugo. I never thought you'd be the person to go up against your own son. He started the war first. I'm just trying to finish it. You're being a weak sheep. Alright. So, what do you want? I want you to betray your betray Bakugo and bring me his head. In return, you can have full loyalty of the killer butterflies. I'll take my chance in the dirt. You really are willing to literally throw your life away for Bakugo, who bullied you and tried to kill you to kill yourself out because you were a nobody? And I prefer to stay that way. Unfortunately, people know you. The stranger, the butcher, the cold-blooded serial killer. Everyone knows you, Izuku. People just call you different ways. It's because they're too scared to fight you. Or they don't got the stones to take you on. So, literally, you are the symbol of monsterism. Figured that out pretty quick. But what's in it for me? And besides having your allegiance, if I remember correctly, you already lost 2 big positions. That takes a hell of a lot to take back. Besides, I don't see the point in even working for you. Or, as a matter of fact, this when Midoriya points a shotgun right at him, which makes Mitsuki's eyes open widen. Then Anne says, I don't see the reason in keeping you alive. Not one bit. This is when Midoriya just shoots Mitsuki right in the head, and causing her brain to splatter everywhere. Once he turns around, he sees Kirishima, Dinky, and Bakugo, who are beyond surprised. What? You killed her. So? Well, tomato. If that's all, then you can literally take care of your own. I don't see the reason why I should be here anymore. What do you mean? With their leader dead, the butterflies are going to be crippled. And they're going to have problems on establishing new order. They'll be fighting over each other to decide who will be the new leader. You definitely have changed. Why are you so surprised? It's been how many years since we last spoke? Touche. Anyway, let's take back your last three. This is when they take back the last three forts. Well, I will be on my way. Because let's be honest, your men don't want me to be here. What makes you think that? If they wanted to, I'd be making myself comfortable. But you and I both know that's not going to happen. You really know me, man. You really know too well. I get that a lot. Now, see you around. See you, Midoriya. Once Midoriya left, this is when we get to the others. And this is when pretty much as they get to one Pacific, this is when and Bakugo, this is when Midoriya secretly takes a location. Which is pretty much as you expect. From, well, guy. We get to him. We get to Midoriya. We get to Ochako and her friends. Hey, look, it's Bakugo's men. Probably here for their payment. Probably. Once they get it closer to the location, this is when Bakugo comes up with a very, very surprised look. What's with that surprised look? It's Midoriya. Yeah. Let me guess. You saw all that too. Its old self? Yeah. I'll admit I wasn't expecting it. If I knew that he was going to end up like this, unfortunately it's too late. He's gone. The old Midoriya that we knew. Who? Gone. Dead. You have anything to say? No, just... Wasn't expecting this. Here for your protection money? For once, not today. I'm not in the mood. I'll pick it up next week. What about Midoriya? He left as soon as we captured the last 3 forts. See you around, Ochako. Yeah. This one pretty much Ochako holds an old picture of them when they were friends. See you around. Oof. And that, my friends, is where I'll leave it off. Like, comment, subscribe to the channel. Well, this has been Dunkle Dylan here, God of Chaos, and I will see you one day, and hopefully not dead. And so, good night, and good luck out there.